Mildred, and this is Your Mental Health Matters, sponsored by Our Neutral Voices. And tonight on the set with me are Miss Tammy and Miss Crystal, both licensed mental health specialists. And our guests are Akira and Miss Alicia. Miss Alicia is a student in college currently, and Akira right now is in transition, working full-time. Tonight we're talking about young adults and their mental health. So let's talk about it.
All right.
One of the things that I noticed in this season, talking to these two young ladies, is the amount of stress that young adults have, both in college and out. And that's why they were asked tonight to come join us and have candid conversations. We're hoping that their peers are able to watch and relate, because that's very important. We're here to educate, and for those that, can't relate to other people, we're hoping that Miss Alicia and Akira can shed some light on some of the things that they're dealing with. Mm-hmm. So ladies, you want to talk about who you are and kind of what you guys are doing. Let's start with Miss Akira tonight.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Okay. I am Akira. I went to Huntington University for 2 years, and I studied theater and organizational management, and now I work part-time at the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. And Miss Alicia?
I am credit-wise a junior, but technically I'm a sophomore at PFW. I'm majoring in music industry and a business minor. And yeah.
Welcome.
So, how's school? How's life treating you guys? We've talked in the last month or so, and we wanted to address some of the things that you guys are dealing with. One of the things is, what are some of the things that you deal with mental health, or what things stress you out anxiety-wise, or what gets you depressed? So if you guys can have a conversation and talk, this is a safe place. Miss Crystal always talks about, Miss Tammy, that you need to find a safe place, right?
Right.
And this is a safe platform for the both of you, and we have two beautiful, intelligent, licensed mental health specialists that are here to kind of help you navigate through what you guys are going through. So the floor is yours. Who wants to start?
So I'll just start a little bit, and then you guys probably can chime in on that. I think this is a critical time for the young adults because they're transitioning from home and then going into independence. And even though it sounds exciting initially, that can be traumatic, when the excitement settles down. And then that's where we have the increased stress, and then which can lead to depression and mental health issues, whether mental health issues were already there or new mental health issues. So that's kind of where we're going today with young adults leaving home, transitioning, whether it's into college or going into the workforce outside of home. You just don't have that protection of home. So I think that's where a good starting place, and then you guys can chime in on where you're at with that.
Don't all speak at once.
I know.
Don't all jump at the same time.
That was one of my points too. That was, I'm just starting now to ease into that transition of being okay with, I guess, what some people call adulting.
Yeah.
And so going from being a child to a child with adult responsibilities, it was kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing out here, but I'm expected to know what I'm doing.
Right.
And being okay with not knowing everything at once and not being so hard on myself.
Right.
For not knowing.
That's
and
important.
Then asking for help.
Yeah.
I'm still working on that one.
That's
Asking
important.
for help.
Did you hear what she said? That was powerful.
That was really powerful.
She's a child expected or having adult responsibilities.
Yeah.
And the expectation maybe from parents and the pressures of society to achieve, and you must do this and you must do that, and all these checklists that you have to go through. I understand that pressure, and we've all been there at some point as well. However, it's much different now. I think because of the what we have from the media, and because of what the kids are dealing with, and not enough resources to really cope with what they're feeling.
When you say resources, for me, I was thinking more we talked about
Yeah.
before we got on the air, the lack of problem solving skills.
Problem solving skills. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you know that's been hard. Do you have you experienced that, Akira, within your transition?
For me, it's a little different because I've already done the transition from
Right.
high school to college, and now it's college to having my own apartment and working and being a mentor and all these things. I'm already technically in my 20s, so I'm literally not a kid anymore. I have no excuse. I can't say I'm a kid. He's like, Mom. Well, sometimes I do, but anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a different type of transition. Like, I have to pay bills now
Right.
on time and get a credit card, which is stupid. But
Yeah.
anyway, so the transition is different, and the responsibility is different because I've already made my lifelong friends that I was supposed to make. I already was trying to get a degree. I already lived in the dorm. I already met my connections. So now I have to actually go to
Adult.
Yeah.
So
Do the
Yeah.
adulting, as Alicia said.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you guys struggle? I know Alicia mentioned the fact of, even though she's in college, expecting adult or adulting and not knowing
Right.
What to do?
what to do.
So the question then becomes, do you guys feel that you had the tools leaving home to go into college or to the workforce or live on your own? Do you feel like you were given enough tools, whether it was from home or from school, to be able to function independently? And if not, what do you see as being needed or different? Because for us to answer that, it's going to take us a decade or two back,
Yeah.
maybe 3. But so
I'd say in the beginning I thought I wasn't equipped with it, but through talking to a lot of people, they say, everything you have is already in you. Maybe you've seen it, you weren't taught verbally, but you've seen how to do some of the things. And I guess college, that's from home. College-wise, my college is very open and honest to me, at least, about, getting help, getting counseling if needed, or they're just open about resources that you could use financially.
Right.
So I think I was put in a place I just had to utilize and reach out for it. Yeah.
because I know the college load or the schoolwork can be different, very different and difficult. And I know even for myself, it was a hard transition to learn how to study, learn how to separate, from friends and really focus on things. And that can be a source of stress as well. And sometimes it's not major stress, it's just little stressors that kind of add up to different things. And the important thing is being able to have the coping resources,
Right.
coping tools, and being able to ask for help when you need it, and taking breaks from that too, and not put so much pressure on yourself. Because I know you said you were hard on yourself at times.
That
So-
study part that you said, yeah, because high school, you just, if you pay attention in class, you'll pass.
Yeah.
College is not the same. You really have to study, get a group. I'm better with the group to study, so.
And I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, is just that transition part. From going from high school, you had your teachers, you had your parents, or whomever was on you. But
Oh,
when
yeah.
you hit the college, you're
It's
on your own.
Yes.
So it's a matter
Balance.
of, like you said, finding your groove. Your class schedule, being able to write down things that will keep you on top of your schoolwork. So scheduling, planning is so important.
Alicia, we talked about that before.
Planning.
Having the confidence also that you're capable or you've been equipped. I know Akira struggled with having the confidence to do something, or that she felt like she didn't know. So what are some of the things for you, Akira, that you may have struggled during your transition?
Oh, that was it. Okay. I think mine is I guess knowing who I am or knowing who you are. I was having a conversation earlier about this, about my identity and who I'm supposed to be, because when you're a kid or a teenager, right, they say you don't know what you want, or you don't know what love is, and you don't know who you are, and you have your whole life, and then you get to college and they're like, well, you're studying to know who you want, so you're on the right track. But now I'm out of high school and I'm out of college, so now am I supposed to know? Like, I'm not a teenager anymore. As soon as I turn 20, am I just automatically supposed to know what I want to do, who I'm supposed to be? Like,
No.
It's a matter of,
Go ahead, Miss
it's a
Crystal.
matter of giving yourself grace. Because again, I mean, it takes time to know who you really are. I mean, I talk to women who are in their 30s still trying to figure out life. So this is the perfect time to embrace whatever that is that you're looking for, and not to be, again, hard on yourself.
Getting hard on yourself. And one thing that we miss or neglect to realize is that most human brains don't finish growing
That's right.
until 25, the age of 25. So keeping that in mind for yourselves,
That's right.
as well as your mentors in your life, if people will keep that in mind and give the kids some grace in making some of those mistakes, and hopefully they're not life-altering mistakes, and they can bounce back from those things. But like Miss Crystal said, a lot of us don't figure it out until we're at least 30, 35 sometimes. Some of them that are 50 are not figuring it out. So, yes. And as long as you're pushing forward in a positive track, you'll get there.
That's right.
Yeah.
So some of the things that we've talked about is coping or what to do. And I know Alicia has mentioned prioritizing and kind of knowing what to do first, writing things down.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you guys struggle with? Like anxiety? Is it anxiety? What are the triggers? And when they trigger you, do you have an outlet? Again, don't all answer the question at once.
So, being an adult now.
Yes.
Listen, let's brace ourselves for I'm going to say it right, because you all are grown, okay? I didn't understand how stressful it was to pay bills. That is so stressful, even when you got it. Even when you got it. I feel like right now that's the major thing. Two major things is paying bills and learning how to be a mentor. So I work with the Boys and Girls Club. I teach 5th grade, and then I work with Youth for Christ, and I mentor girls 14 to 17.
Okay.
So, and that's like a spiritual walk. Like I help them with Jesus. I help them learn how to pray and read their Bible daily and all that stuff. So it's like trying to take care of me, making sure I have a roof over my head, make sure I wash clothes this week because it's been a busy week, make sure I meal prepped, and then trying to pour into other
Young
lives.
people.
It's not one other life. I'm not mentoring one girl. I have 6 girls, and then I have the 10-year-olds at the Boys and Girls Club. So just like everything, trying to pour into other people, and sometimes I feel a little bit empty. So that's the biggest thing I'd say was my biggest stressor. Is just trying to pour into others, and
So how are you replenishing yourself?
Yes.
Because
Jesus, I can say that, right?
Yeah.
you can say that.
It's my source.
Yes.
Like, it's so important, and I had to learn how important Jesus was, because I can't do this stuff on my own. I can't always call my mom.
That's
She got other kids.
And that's excellent as a young person that you acknowledge it, number one, and then you're not afraid to speak on it, because a lot of young people are torn and don't think it's cool to speak about your faith and what have you. So that's a huge plus, and I applaud you for that, and to keep striving on Jesus and then for what he wants for your life, because as long as you keep him first, everything will fall in place as they should. Not saying it won't be without struggle, because you'll have some, but as long as you keep that focus on him as your priority.
That's right.
Yeah, and I wish more young people would understand that.
Yeah. It took me a while. I'd say, like, it's been a journey. And another way to cope is, like, my humor. So before acknowledging, like, Jesus, you're the way, like, let's pray right now. Let's center and worship. Let's figure out my heart postures. Let's make a joke about it. Let's pretend everything's cool. I'm funny. Might as well make a joke. And then I'll be fine. But that's not reality.
So may I ask you then, so Jesus is our spiritual source, if I'm okay to say that. What is your physical source in doing that?
I have a couple mentors, but I have two main mentors right now. One, Reggie Blackman, always shout him out, love him to death. It started in my sophomore year of high school. That's when, like, everything was turning around. Like, I didn't have friends then. I started, like, diving into my passion, started doing theater in high school my sophomore year. And life was just crazy. And he was there. I cried to him all the time. Like, so he's been there. And then I also sing on the worship team. So he helps me a lot. He centers me when I need to get back right. And, like, and both of them are, some prayers. Like, they will pray for me, like, when I can't pray for myself, because it's always, like, I don't always have the words to say. Right. So they both help me. Oh, the other one's Cliff Latham.
Shout out to Mr. Cliff Latham.
Yeah, they're prayer warriors. So people who can pray for me, because I didn't want to have a mentor I could just, like, rant to.
Right.
It's, like, cool to have, like, a woman like, girl, today was hard, girl. But, like, no, I need someone to pray for me. So, yeah, those are my outsides.
That's good. That's
So,
good.
as she said, who her outside sources was, we're going to take a time out to do a commercial break. If you're just joining us, you are watching Our Neutral Voices, Your Mental Health Matters. And we're talking with two young adults. And we have with us two licensed mental health counselors. And it's important that you know that these two young ladies, as Akira mentioned, her mentors, Alicia and Akira, both sing for Cliff Latham. And they will be performing tomorrow at the Summit Church. Doors open at 6 o'clock. So if you guys want to support your young adults, your child, your niece, it's going to be an exciting time to just to showcase our talent.
Okay. Wow.
So, Alicia, some of your outlets. What are some of the things that you go to?
Spiritual with Jesus, and that was another thing that I was going to talk about, like mental health and the spiritual side. Because before I was taught, that they're separate, but they are one. Taking care of yourself is an altogether thing. Physical, I would say my mom for sure. She is very lenient. Shout out, Mom, if you're watching. Very, very graceful to me with the adulting, and I'm just very grateful to have her. Besides family, I would say certain mentors at school and the NV family for sure.
All right.
Shout out to Neutral Voices. One of the things that we try to embrace here is our young people.
Yeah.
Because like Alicia said, having expectations and not knowing stuff. So here, it's such a safe environment, and we have some great adults that kind of take our young people and mentor them. And, they get to learn this side of production and to speak out. And if they see other kids see them doing it, then it's a possibility that they can do it too. So I appreciate you both for being on and being candid about what your struggles are. What are some of the things that we want to touch base? I know we had talked before we went on the air. I know you did an event this weekend with NAMI, I believe. So
well, they were at an event that I had attended, and some of the information that they had was college age young people and young adults, and their mental health. And one thing I wanted to point out was that a lot of times, I think I mentioned it before, a lot of times when our kids turn 18, we just assume that they got it, they're 18, they're grown, they can handle it, and that's not so much the case. However, with college and a lot of other places, they just write them as adults. So one thing that was a concern for me is that, say if our young person has a mental health issue or a medical issue or what have you, the parent cannot do or say anything to get any information unless there's a signed consent. So that's one thing I think young people and parents need to know. when that child turns 18 and they're ready to leave home, have that conversation about, signing consent for mom or a responsible adult in your life to be able to get that medical information or mental health information they can share with people, because they won't do that, at the schools or otherwise at the hospitals unless that's a signed document or verbal consent.
Right.
So that's important. I don't know why from when the child turns 17 to 18, automatically you can't help them out. You can't get any information about them or on them. So
I know that too well, as we experienced that in the past. Once you get to a certain age, and with both Alicia and Akira, I'm sure they think, I know for Akira's my daughter, if you didn't know. That's my child. But I know during the transition in college, it was hard to call the school and find out information. They were quick to accept the check.
Oh, yes.
But to give out information, it was hard. And that transition is hard for the parent as well.
It is.
To kind of try to be there for them, for their child.
Right.
And to try to navigate them.
To guide them.
Through the process.
Right.
And feeling like our hands are tied.
Feeling like your hands are
they're
tied.
adults.
Yes. Well, I don't know, because they still have a learning curve. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying as parents.
But the school, what I'm saying is the school.
They'll treat them as, they just cut you off. Yes.
They're an adult. They're here
They can make their own decisions,
Exactly.
but we should still be able to guide them, because technically they're getting the parents' money.
That's what I said.
Yes.
We're here. I understand.
So
We're here.
the young people that are listening, please sign those releases for your parents or the adult that's in your life that you can confide in. Please sign those papers, because if there's an emergency where someone else besides yourself can tell your story, mental health or medical wise, it's very important to have that advocate for you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. See, I wasn't being nosy. It was information I needed.
To help
Thank
for you.
for confirming that. But, sometimes, young adults, they think, I'm an adult. I'm 18. My mom don't need to know certain things. But like you said, let's say something, you fell, lost consciousness. In order for someone to tell your story, your health story, you have to have that permission once you turn to a certain age. So yes, please, we encourage, if you're in school, if you're in college, you're living outside of the home, take the time to have an adult, as an emergency contact or somebody in your school paperwork. So that way the school has somebody they can contact if something happens to you. So are there any other points that we want to touch on tonight? I know Akira mentioned outlets. Alicia, some of the things that you go to for your outlet. I know you sing. I know you on the production team here at Neutral Voices. What are the things I know what your schedule is, you're probably very busy, but what is it? What other thing that you go to cope and deal or de-stress? That's a good word. De-stress. What do you do?
Say, this might be totally. I dance sometimes. Just, just dancing, not like
physical outlet.
Just dancing in my room sometimes, just to get it all out.
I love that.
But I'm learning to journal, and
Okay.
I journal with God, so I like talking to Him and kind of letting that out.
It's beautiful.
But I did want to touch on like the medical point that you said. I didn't know what I was doing with the medical stuff, so I called my mom every time I had a form. Call your moms or your parents.
That's wise. That's wise.
Yeah, me too. My mom made my doctor's appointments until August.
But even with you calling her, there's an authorization to release information. Say if you were unconscious and your mom came to the hospital, they wouldn't tell her anything unless they had that signed document on file. So that's what I mean with that. And yes, it is good to get advice from trusted adults in your life, but yes, if that document is not signed, they won't release any information to your mom.
That's right.
Is it called authorization of release?
It's the HIPAA.
Yeah, the HIPAA form.
That's it.
And then there's a mental health one similar to that too. So
So make sure you guys ask Akira.
Okay, I'm gonna make one more point for the transition stuff. Making friends is so hard.
It really is.
Yeah.
As an
In
adult.
high school, it's so easy.
Because you're
You
with them
go
all
to
the
class with
time.
the same people you went
That's
from
true.
elementary school, then you go to college, you're in the same major. Cool. When I left college, I was like, where the people at? Like, where do I even find these people? Where do I even make these friends? Like, and it's certain things that I don't do because I do love Jesus and
Right.
I'm on the right path and I gotta be morally correct, you know? Like, I don't do the same stuff the people from high school do, the people I graduated with from high school do, or from college even. Like, they like to party. I'm not a party goer. I'm really shy. So, like, where do I even go? So, making friends is super hard.
So I think it comes with our personalities.
Yeah.
And depending on personalities, you'll meet people faster. You won't meet anybody and what have you. But I think your interests will connect you with the right people.
Always, yeah.
However, you do have to be open enough to engage with that. You know, it's okay to be shy and reserved in some points, but sometimes that can paralyze you too. So be willing to step out the box a little bit. And if it's not right at that time, then go back and then try it again,
Even as a young adult, too.
even as a young
I'm
adult.
a 35-year-old friend. That doesn't seem right to me. Like, we're both adults, but still. Yeah.
But common interests will get you to, those right people in your life. Yeah.
So I am so thrilled that everyone has taken the time to come on. One of the things that I wanted to make sure that our audience was aware is that there's plenty of resources here in Fort Wayne that you can reach out to when it comes to your mental health. You can call 211. Also, NAMI, if I'm not mistaken, they have a website. Miss Crystal is also on the website. What is your website, Miss
The
Crystal?
Society of Black Mental Health Professionals.
Okay, thank you. I always messed it up, so I
It's
want to
all
make sure. And also, Miss Tammy has a website as well, so I want to make sure that we say your website as well.
I
Or
do
your
not
email.
have
Email address, sorry.
the contact for CM Heart to Soul is CM, the word heart, the number 2, the word soul at yahoo.com. And that's specializing in whole health, spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional well-being.
That's awesome because mental health, that's encompasses also
That's right.
your physical health. So when Alicia was saying that she dances, I thought that was great because I'm sure she puts music on. And we've talked in the past how music can be therapeutic
Yes.
Right.
when we're dealing with something. So again, I so appreciate everyone taking the time to sit with us and just have candid conversation. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to Neutral Voices Network on YouTube and Facebook. And I want to leave you with a quote tonight. Self-care is how you take your power back. We rise by lifting others. And as we always say before we leave the set, always protect your mind.